Hello Guardians, ISO here. A few days ago, the last major plot point of the season of the Splicer occurred, aptly named the Epilogue. I wanted to make this video sooner, but decided instead to finish the content I was working on then. Also, the more high-concept nature of this video means it's been a long time coming. I started working on this the moment the events in question transpired. This is my video covering the season of the Splicer Epilogue. Let's go over what happened. The Epilogue, which occurred this very week, August 10th, starts with Lakshmi making another broadcast. This one much more dire. She claims that the Vanguard has completely lost its way, not only because of the Vanguard welcoming the refugees, but because of their begrudging allowance of darkness to be wielded by Guardians that embraced it. She claims that the fallen refugees will do only what they have always done: covet, cheat, steal, and kill. So, she takes matters into her own hands. She says that with the help of Osiris, she has learned how to splice as we do, and she will use this power of the Vex to banish the refugees out of the city. But, halfway through her broadcast, her splice goes awry. She recoils in fear at something, and screams in agony. The Vex have broken through her splice, and we're the only ones that can stop it. A cadre of Guardians, including the protagonist, reach the Elixni Quarter, which has been penetrated by the Vex network. Lakshmi's body is found huddled in a nearby building, where she certainly died afraid. Vex pour out of the Splicer rift that she created. The Guardians push back against the machines and seal the portal shut. Outside the network, heroes of the city defeat the remaining Vex, including Ikora Rey, Commander Zavala, and Amanda Holliday. At the center of it all, Mithrax and Saint, fighting side by side, back to back. But, as the Vex fell, a figure watched silently from a nearby rooftop. Osiris, choosing not to fight. Even though he claims to be lightless, both Amanda and Mithrax have no powers, yet their bravery was shown when they assisted in the battle. Most damning of all, he walks away. After the battle, no one can find him. He's reported missing, which doesn't paint the best picture when paired with the fact that Lakshmi claimed he helped her splice into the network. We've seen in the past that Osiris has had veiled suspicion surrounding him. We don't exactly know the details of how he recently lost his light on the moon. He claims that his ghost Sagira was killed, and that he barely made it out with his life. We know that Savathun has infiltrated the last city, and that she is impersonating someone. A few weeks ago, Osiris was snooping around, looking for the light suppression device that the Cabal insurgents attempted to assassinate Zavala with, claiming that he needed it for his research. When his partner, Saint, went through an existential crisis regarding the way the Elixni saw him as a killer and a boogeyman, Osiris showed absolutely no empathy or concern for him. Osiris has also been noted as acting strange, according to Saint, as well as uncharacteristically predictable, according to Lakshmi. And he added fuel to the fire regarding the situation surrounding the refugees, advising Saladin not to seek counsel with Zavala when Lakshmi approached him with the idea of a coup. All of this hinted at a larger plot, but now with the fact that he left the city after allegedly assisting with the opening of the network, Osiris being more than he seems is undeniable. This is no longer a conspiracy theory. With Lakshmi's death, the coup against the Vanguard and the Consensus completely dissolved. The future war cult fell apart. While the organization mentioned multiple times that they were losing faith in their leader, they were unable to muster enough resolve to keep going, and the FWC was internally dismantled. Dead Orbit finally made good on their promise to leave Earth, fleeing the planet. A new monarchy decided to join them. Their resolve to strengthen the last city must now lie in the strength of this new world that Dead Orbit wishes to create, away from the lost cause that is Earth. This is a very big deal, because it leaves an even greater power imbalance in the Consensus than we already had. In my Lakshmi 2, Lakshmi Coup video, I touched on who exactly has seats in the Consensus, but I'll go over them again. Each leader of the three respective factions has a seat: Arok Jalal of Dead Orbit, Lakshmi II of the Future War Cult, and Executor Hideo of the New Monarchy. The three Vanguard leaders also have a seat, including Cade 6, Commander Zavala, and Ikora. The Speaker of the Last City also has a seat, as well as the privilege of being the unofficial leader. It's lightly implied that Hawthorne may also have a seat. The Speaker died 4 years ago during the Red War. Cade died 3 years ago during the events of Forsaken. Lakshmi lost her life as well recently, and the other faction leaders fled the city, not to mention the organizations having no presence in the Last City. That leaves Zavala and Ikora. With just 2 members, maybe 3 counting Hawthorne, does the consensus even exist anymore? I wanted to go over one piece of lore. The last page of the Beneath the Endless Night lorebook now makes sense, and details a memorial service being held for those that lost their life during the Vexed Incursion. This is Chapter 10, Memorial. The air up on the wall was thin. Lakshmi was right about that. Mithrak stood in silent observation of the memorial across the main concourse. He leaned against an iron railing, watching guardians and citizens alike moving below, Elixni with them. A drag approached the memorial and led his child to stand amongst the mourners. Urged forward by a gentle nudge, the child gingerly placed a gilded eggshell at the memorial's base. Gold soldering sealed a myriad of fractures, making a once broken egg whole again. Mithrax's throat tightened at the sight. It was a memorial for a child. Lost. The walkway behind Mithrax groaned as Saint 14 cut a large silhouette against the clear sky. Shoulder to shoulder, they stood. Neither spoke. They watched as Ikora and Zavala conversed with departing mourners. The dragon his son approached, and with a bittersweet smile, Ikora made certain to introduce them to Zavala. Big, stern, stoic Zavala took to one knee and spoke to the child, eye to eye.
I never thought I'd see the day,
Saint finally said, unable to look away. Mithrax responded not with words, but with a fluttering purr-like rumble, and mirrored Saint's posture.
Do you think this will hold? In the Alliance, fragile like glass held in a fist.
Saint asked.
Only the great machine knows what will come from over the horizon. We must be content with our own limited perspectives,
Mithrax said with conviction. Saint nodded. Down below, Amanda Holliday drew their attention as she knelt before the memorial to light a candle. She stood and stepped back, lingering. Mithrax and Saint watched in silence as she rose up on her toes and began scanning through the crowd, as if she were looking for someone. She gently pushed through the throng of people and reached out to another mourner in a white cloak. Both recoiled in surprise, Amanda seemingly apologizing to the cloaked woman at some misunderstanding. They exchanged brief words, awkward laughs, sympathies. When Amanda caught sight of Lord Saladin, however, she took her leave and disappeared into the crowd. Mourners parted around the Iron Lord, respectful of his space and reputation, as he laid a handful of spent shell casings at the memorial with reverence. The offering's meaning was lost on Mithrax. When Saladin rose from the memorial, he turned and looked up at the pair on the Overwatch, his face cast in shadows of doubt, remorse, and uncertainty as he quietly departed.
I do not know that one,
Mithrax said with a look to Saint.
He seems unhappy.
Saint slowly shook his head.
Lord Saladin,
he clarified.
He has lost many. Lost his heart, his hope. Lost so many he believes he stands alone, even when surrounded by others. I understand his pain, I see
Saint thinks on how Osiris would describe it.
his cautionary tale.
Mithrax heard the ache in Saint's voice.
And how are you?
Saint tensed at the question. The railing in his hand creaked as his grip tightened and bent the metal.
I am fine.
He lied.
Indeed.
Mithrax said with the best affection and sarcasm, then placed a hand on Saint's shoulder.
It is not above a warrior's station to feel pain. Not above a warrior's station to express spirit wounds.
Mithrax's grip firmed on Saint's shoulder, reassuring, stabilizing.
Not above a warrior's station to break.
Saint nodded in half-hearted agreement.
I should go,
He said in a tone Mithrax didn't quite understand.
Thank you, Kell of Kells. You are a true friend. Go well, Saint,
Mithrax said with concern.
Find your lost phoenix.
If you only take away one thing from this entire season, let it be this. The Elixni are called Fallen by humanity because of their history. The name just stuck. They were once a greater civilization than all of humanity. They strived to push technology to its limits for a betterment of all, and they believed that they understood what they manipulated. All they wanted was to save what they loved, what they respected, what they stood for. To protect their home from those that would see it burn. But they never understood. And in the end, they failed the Traveler and lost everything. That is what it means to be fallen. And the only fallen that existed in this city was Lakshmi. Thank you for joining me today. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. The best way to let me know you enjoy my content is to leave a like on the video or a comment down below. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next video.